Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm here to give you guys my WWE Marquee matches reviews, and in this edition, I'll be covering past Hell in a Cell matches. Pretty much whatever past Hell in a Cell matches they put up in their Marquee matches will be the ones I'm doing. And um, I think this would be a good thing to do because maybe this can intrigue my interest going into Hell in a Cell. My interest is pretty much there. I would say it's there, but maybe this can bump up my interest even more for Hell in a Cell coming up this Sunday, which is in a couple of nights. But it's coming up this Sunday, September 16th, 2018, and the real show starts at 7 o'clock. However, we're going to have a pre-show at 6 o'clock p.m. So I'm excited to see Hell in a Cell come up this Sunday. Um, I mean, there's really nothing I have left to say about it. But we have these past Hell in a Cell matches, and of all the matches they used, I can't believe this was one of them because marquee matches are supposed to be like this great important match that took place, and I'll just talk about this match that's happened. This match was from Hell in a Cell 2011. It was a triple threat match, a triple threat Hell in a Cell match for the WWE Championship. WWE Champion John Cena versus Alberto Del Rio versus CM Punk. Um, which I guess it's a marquee match if you want to say because it was the first time, it was the first ever triple threat Hell in a Cell match, but the match really isn't anything memorable or anything. It's just a match, and that's really all I really need to say. But um, let's talk about this match. I'm going to talk about the backstory going into the match itself, and then where each competitor went and what happened afterwards and stuff like that. So let's talk about the match. Well, first, let me say this was hosted by Charlie Caruso, and it really means nothing, so I'm just going to move on. But I always forget to mention it. But I guess the best way to explain the build-up going into this match was disappointment. Because I always will say that one of the most disappointing years, maybe the second most disappointing years, but it's definitely in the top two, is 2011. Because 2011, wrestling could have been really popular again. Everybody would everybody would be tuning into wrestling. Wrestling could have really had another boom period, but it was just mistake after mistake that the WWE kept making that caused it not to really be that memorable. And what do I mean by that? Let's start off with the Summer of Punk angle because that's pretty much where everyone thought things were going to change. So Money in the Bank was coming up. CM Punk had become the number one contender to John Cena's WWE Championship, and he announced that his contract was going to expire July 17th, 2011, and he was going to leave the company with the WWE Championship. And it looks like it was going to be CM Punk's year. CM Punk cut that amazing pipe bomb promo where he pretty much broke the fourth wall and went off on WWE, talk about all the problems with it, and it's probably one of the most memorable promos on Monday Night Raw, and CM Punk was you know really getting over in the summer of 2011. He was um really making his way as like one of the top main event guys. And John Cena obviously was cutting great promos, and this was just a really memorable feud. Money in the Bank 2011 happened. They have a 5-star match given by me and the Wrestling Observer, and CM Punk beat John Cena for the WWE Championship, and he left with the WWE Championship. And it was this great moment, and you thought that it was going to institute change within the WWE. You thought that this storyline was going to really go somewhere, and then CM Punk, and then Triple H became the COO of WWE, and you thought really, and then you thought that, and that was really awesome too. But then it was all ruined. July 25th, 2011. CM Punk um, at, was brought back to the WWE, and John Cena was crowned WWE champion. and they brought back CM Punk 8 days later. They wouldn't let the storyline play out really at all. They just brought back CM Punk 8 days later, and it made CM Punk like a moron because he had all the leverage to leave WWE. He had the title, and he was talking about how he was going to go defend it across all the wrestling companies in the world, and it just almost ruined CM Punk. He wasn't ruined yet, but it was getting there. And then it was SummerSlam 2011, but that was just really stupid. Then it was SummerSlam 2011. We had champion versus champion, where the winner was going to be the new undisputed WWE champion, with Triple H as the special guest referee. CM Punk beat John Cena a second time, and it was by shenanigans. But CM Punk beat John Cena a second time and became the new undisputed champion. But then he was attacked by Kevin Nash, and then afterwards Alberto Del Rio, who had won the Money in the Bank ladder match that year, for the Raw brand, came out and attacked CM Punk and beat him for the WWE Championship, and it hurt CM Punk's momentum even more. I can understand that they really wanted to push Alberto Del Rio because they had to delay putting the World Heavyweight Championship on him because Edge retired and everything, but it was really not worth hurting CM Punk. He was one of the most over guys in the company, and they tossed him aside for Alberto Del Rio. They really should have held off on putting the WWE Championship on Alberto Del Rio. It just was stupid. And then Night of Champions happens. Alberto Del Rio looks like a really weak champion going in there, and he faces John Cena, and he loses the WWE Championship to John Cena. All that build-up they did with Del Rio, he won the first ever 40-man Royal Rumble match. He won the Money in the Bank ladder match, and then he went on to lose the WWE Championship to John Cena at Night of Champions, and it was really stupid. Gets even stupider, though. Then, in the main event, CM Punk loses to Triple H, really burying CM Punk even more. So that was really stupid. Triple H pretty much buried CM Punk right there. And then we get to this match, and this was CM Punk and John Cena's rematch clauses from when John Cena lost it at Night of Champions, and CM Punk lost it at SummerSlam. So they were having the first ever Hell in a Cell match. You could say this match made sense to happen, considering the fact that, CM Punk and Alberto Del Rio had a history with each other since Del Rio cast a contract in on Punk. Cena and Del Rio had a history with each other since Del Rio and Cena had the match at Night of Champions and everything, and then Cena and Punk had the history with each other from their feud in the summer. But it just makes you think, what could have been? Because CM Punk's momentum was instantly cooled off in this match, as well as Alberto Del Rio's. And it was just a real shame to see what had happened. It was awful. But pretty much the build-up was that Alberto Del Rio was being the chicken shit heel, and he was doing everything it took to get away from John Cena and CM Punk, and would constantly get the advantage on him eventually. And yeah, it was pretty much that. CM Punk had beaten Alberto Del Rio in a matchup on the Go Home Show of Raw. Del Rio laid them both out. And that was basically the build up to this match. And yeah, I don't really have anything left to say about it. It just makes you really disappointed of what could have been. Can you imagine? Because a lot of things could have happened from this. CM Punk really could have been taken to a whole different level of superstardom if they had done the similar Punk storyline right. Alberto Del Rio could have still been built up as a world champion. And John Cena, they could have done what Culture had suggested and just have him be the world heavyweight champion. But it was just really disappointing. Seeing how bad the WWE had dropped the ball with the Samoa Punk angle, because it really could have been because wrestling maybe would be almost as popular as it was back in the day, back in the Attitude Era, back in the Golden Era, but they just chose not to do that, and I don't know why. I never really know why they would just drop the ball with it. They could have really made wrestling interesting again. But so this build-up just sucked for a whole different types of reasons. And the match, let's talk about the match. We had Booker T, Michael Cole, and Jim Ross on commentary for this match. It was nice to hear JR on commentary for this match, but it was one of those problems where heel Michael Cole would be such a heel where JR really wouldn't get to say anything, so that was disappointing. And we had the match. The beginning portions of the match, John Cena and CM Punk are doing whatever it takes to try to get Alberto Del Rio, and they beat him up in the corner. But they're not really friends either. CM Punk tries to beat him with a roll up, but Cena kicks out. They go at it for a little bit, and Cena hits his 5 moves of doom on Del Rio. He goes for the AA, but CM Punk pulls him off, and then CM Punk hits his moves on Cena, and he clotheslines Cena out of the ring, and then Cena and Del Rio fight each other, and Cena goes for an AA on the outside. CM Punk hits a suicide dive onto both guys, while Cena had the Del Rio in a fireman's carry, which was pretty cool. And then CM Punk goes to introduce a chair, but Alberto Del Rio attacks him from behind, throws him into the steps, and then Cena and Del Rio go at. Well, actually no. And then Cena and Del Rio go at it some more, and then Cena and Punk go at it, and Cena tries to throw Punk into the steps. Punk lands on the steps, and then Del Rio shoves Punk into the Hell in a Cell. And then Cena and Del Rio go to get the chair. Cena just knocks it out of the ring. Del Rio attacks Cena, and he dominates Cena for a little bit, but then CM Punk comes in the ring and attacks Del Rio. He hits a neckbreaker DDT combo onto Cena and Del Rio, and CM Punk ended up having his ribs kind of cut open from the Hell in a Cell spot, which I liked. And then eventually Del Rio throws Punk into the cell again, and Del Rio then gets the advantage on Punk, and then Cena comes into the ring and attacks Del Rio. He does this cool spot where Del Rio has Punk in a chin lock, but Cena hits the guillotine leg drop from the turnbuckle onto both guys and tries to cover them, but they both end up kicking out, which I thought was cool. And then Del Rio ends up putting a steel chair onto John Cena. Ends up attacking both Cena and Punk with a chair. He put the steel chair onto John Cena and body slams Punk onto it, and then hits a senton off the top turnbuckle onto both guys, which I thought was a cool spot. And Del Rio tries to pin both of them, but they both kick out. Cena hits the and Cena and Punk go for the finishers on each other, but Del Rio keeps interrupting it. Cena goes for his comeback on CM Punk, but CM Punk, when Cena goes for the 5-knuckle shuffle, Punk kicks Cena in the head. He body slams Cena, and he goes for an elbow drop, but Del Rio intervenes. Del Rio throws Punk and Cena into the steps. He throws a chair at Punk, and he hits Cena right off across the back with it. I thought Del Rio looked really strong in this match, and Del Rio hits an enzuigiri on Cena, covers him. Cena kicks out, and Punk introduced a table earlier on in the match, and Cena and Punk hit the finish on each other, but Del Rio kept interrupting it. But then Del Rio pushes Punk through the table, and Cena gets the FTF onto Del Rio. And Ricardo Rodriguez, who was accompanying Alberto Del Rio at the time, attacks one of the referees and steals the key, opens up the Hell in a Cell, and Cena, he goes to attack Cena with a pipe, but Cena sees him coming, he lays him out with a right hand, hits the attitude adjustment outside the cell, and then Del Rio hits Cena in the ribs with a lead pipe, and then he locks the Hell in a Cell on Cena, and he throws the key under the ring so nobody can get it, and then it's just a one-on-one match between Del Rio and Punk, and Punk's still laid up and being put through the table. Del Rio's German suplex Punk, but Punk kicks out. Punk goes for a roll-up on Del Rio. Del Rio kicks out, and then CM Punk hits his comeback on Del Rio, but Del Rio keeps kicking out of his moves. And then eventually Del Rio, when Cena comes to, he realizes he's locked out of the cell, so he tries to find the key, but then he tries to break into the cell just by using his force, but he's unable to do so. And so Cena's forced to watch the rest of the match go down, and Del Rio hits Punk with the pipe. He goes to hit him again, but Punk goes for the GTS, but Del Rio counters by hitting Punk in the ribs with the lead pipe, and then hitting him right off the head skull with the lead pipe, and he covers him. Alberto Del Rio becomes the new WWE champion, which made no sense because it was really hot potato in around the championship. And I don't really mind sometimes when they do that when it makes sense. But in this case, it made no sense because Del Rio literally could have just come into the show as champion because um, the Night of Champions had been 2 weeks prior to this, and Cena had already won the championship, and Del Rio went into that show as champion. So I don't understand why they didn't just have Del Rio go into this show as champion. It just really didn't make any sense to me. And also, too, it was just another way of WWE jobbing out CM Punk because, of course, John Cena wasn't going to eat the fall in this match. It had to be CM Punk. That was just stupid. And it was just more WWE hurting CM Punk's momentum. Um, but afterwards, the Hell in a Cell gets raised. John Cena attacks Alberto Del Rio, but then these two guys in hoods jump into the ring and lay out everybody. And we found out that it was The Miz and R-Truth, which also known as Awesome Truth back then. Pretty much what happened is they had formed a tag team and to go against any conspiracy going on against them, and they had assaulted officials and referees at Night of Champions. So Triple H fired them the night after Night of Champions. So this was kind of a way for the Miz and R-Truth to kind of get their revenge. The Hell in a Cell had been lowered, and Awesome Truth just lay out everybody. They beat up the wrestlers, the referees, the cameraman, everybody. This was actually a really awesome segment. And Triple H and John Laurinaitis run out to try to get this cell open so that way they can get Awesome Truth out of the ring since they're not wrestlers anymore. So Triple H goes to have John Laurinaitis have the guy raise the cage, but there's nothing he can do about it. And we obviously know that John Laurinaitis had something to do with this because they were doing a whole storyline where John Laurinaitis wanted to be in power because he was the vice president of talent relations. Yeah, pretty much. John Laurinaitis wanted to be running the COO, but so he was just doing it. We knew it was happening, but they didn't openly come out and tell us about it. But then all the wrestlers went out. Wrestlers like Cody Rhodes, Ted DiBiase Jr., Sin Cara, Evan Bourne, Kofi Kingston, and everybody like that. And then eventually a guy just comes out with bold colors, and eventually the police arrest Awesome Truth. But before that, Triple H attacks Awesome Truth and beats the crap out of him, but then he has to be restrained, and that was how the show ended. And the segment was really good. The Hell in a Cell match itself, overall, I thought was good. I'll give it 3 stars. It wasn't bad. It just really didn't feel like much of a Hell in a Cell, and it was more of the Hell in a Cell being ruined by WWE by putting the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view into it. I think that really ruined Hell in a Cell. I never got why they did that. And then, yeah, pretty much the aftermath of this was Triple H was kicked out of Power from Raw because he was seen as because with him in Power wasn't seen as a safe working environment. So then John Laurinaitis was brought in as the head of Monday Night Raw, and this led to a tag team match at Vengeance where John Laurinaitis just hired Awesome Truth back anyway. So this segment I think was ruined because Awesome Truth was just hired back 2 weeks later. Then at Vengeance, Awesome Truth beat CM Punk and Triple H. And, of course, CM Punk was eating the fall in that match, too. So CM Punk's momentum was hurt even more. And also at Vengeance, Alberto Del Rio beat John Cena in a last man standing match to retain his WWE Championship. And then at Survivor Series, and then also Truth later on the night cost John Cena that match. So then at Survivor Series, it was the once-in-a-lifetime tag team match that main evented the show. John Cena and The Rock versus Awesome Truth, where John Cena and The Rock won. And then um, CM Punk beat Alberto Del Rio for the WWE Championship, giving him a little bit of a recovery push, but it did help. But I think CM Punk never really he became a pretty big star, but he could have been such a bigger star with that Summer Punk angle. And then CM Punk went on to have his 434-day long title reign, which is now the second longest reign, longest reign in modern WWE Championship reign, behind Brock Lesnar's WWE Universal Championship reign, which is like 502 days or something. And yeah, CM Punk would defend the title, but he never got the main event because John Cena was the big guy, was the face of the company, and he wasn't going to get main event over Cena. The only main event babyface run he got was at TOC when he beat The Miz and Alberto Del Rio. And Triple H and Kevin Nash would have a feud that was just why. They didn't have a bad match at TOC in that Slughammer ladder match. I thought that match was good, but I didn't understand why that was a feud. Triple H beat him, and then pretty much Triple H went on to be like a part-time wrestler and the authority figure, kind of at the same time, and also went on to eventually turn heel in 2013, and pretty much has been in the same spot. Awesome Truth would break up on Raw because R-Truth ended up getting suspended in real life, and they had a feud going into 2012 where R-Truth beat The Miz on an episode of Raw, so he could be the Miz ended up having being number one in the Royal Rumble match just for R-Truth to come out number 3 anyways, and then their feud was slowly blown off, and then R-Truth just kind of went back to being mediocre mid-card wrestler who's always confused. Alberto Del Rio would go on to get injured, come back, go into the World Heavyweight Championship program, and he would be the World Heavyweight Championship a couple of times. He would turn face, then turn back into a heel, and then he would rekindle his feud with John Cena at Hell in a Cell 2013 and lose the World Heavyweight Championship to him, and then lost his rematch at Survivor Series, and then at and then pretty much Del Rio pretty much just faded away. He would get fired because of a racist issue, and then he'd go tear it up in the Indies, and then he would come back at Hell in a Cell 2015 and beat John Cena for the United States title. It seems like Hell in a Cell was always a time when Cena and Del Rio would have matches, and then Cena tried to get his title back at the end of the year in 2015, but failed, and then Alberto Del Rio pretty much had a mediocre second run in WWE and was suspended and then fired, and then he went on to wrestle in GFW Impact Wrestling, and he was just fired from there. So Alberto Del Rio did really well. And then CM Punk, obviously, like I mentioned, has 434-day title reign, lost it to The Rock at the Royal Rumble. And then lost to The Undertaker at WrestleMania 29, came back, lost to Brock Lesnar, did that whole Paul Heyman feud, and then Royal Rumble 2014 was the last match, and then he left the company because they didn't accommodate his injuries, a lot of reasons. And CM Punk, it's kind of interesting they show him in these marquee matches because of the whole lawsuit that happened this past summer with WWE. I think that's funny. And obviously John Cena reigns supreme still to this day. Cena would go on to become a 16-time world champion, and is a part-time wrestler and actor at the same time. So yeah, and then obviously all the other wrestlers. Cody Rhodes is in the Indies now. I'm not really gonna go over. I'm not really gonna go into that because they were just kind of secondary to this match. John Laurinaitis is pretty much would pretty much be the like the GM of Raw and SmackDown. He would until the end of the year, until 2012, June of 2012, and then they just pretty much put him back for one-off appearances, and then yeah, that's Jim Ross was fired by Laurinaitis a few weeks later, and then he just pretty much comes back as a part-time commentator. Michael Cole is the current play-by-play guy on Raw, and Booker T is a panelist and has his own podcast. So whatever. This match is whatever. This just kind of pisses me off knowing what could have been for WWE, but whatever. Like I said, this match is good, 3 stars. You really don't need to go out of your way to watch it though, but whatever. That's pretty much my review of this match. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please make sure you guys like, comment, and share this video so people will watch it. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel for more content and click on the bell so that way every time I upload a video, you guys will get the notifications for it. And that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.